G'day guys, and welcome back to the Life Outside podcast, where we share stories from outside to hopefully inspire you guys to get outside as well. I am joined by two of my besties today, Daniel McKinnon and Emma Lawson, who you guys probably know pretty well from the Pacific Crest Trail last year. We all met on trail and hiked across the US for 5 months together, which was pretty wild. If you've listened to the Life Outside podcast for a while, you've probably heard me talk about OptiVenture. It's a company I co-founded with a simple mission: to provide comprehensive and convenient supplementation solutions for hikers and outdoor adventurers. We sold out of our version 1 all-in-one supplement within 24 hours of launch, and we're excited to finally announce that we're launching version 2, which we're calling OptiVenture Core, this August. It's been a lengthy process, but we weren't going to cut any corners, and we're so proud of what we've created. A day-night formulation with the highest quality ingredients to optimize energy, recovery, immunity, inflammation, and support your gut both on and off the trail. For more information and to stay up to date, check our website, optiventure.co, and make sure to sign up to our email newsletter. Thanks for the support, and let's get into today's episode. Actually, you guys were the first guests on my show on the podcast, which was like 5 months ago at this point, which is pretty exciting. So it's good to have you both back. How's it going?
Pretty good. Thanks for having us.
Mate.
Yes. We've been chatting for like 40 minutes before we even hit record. So we're just gonna continue that, and we've got some fun stuff coming up together. The big reunion finally. We're off to Europe to do some more hiking together, which is it's just going to be the best. And I thought we could chat a bit about life since the PCT. Literally a year ago, as we're talking right now, we were on trail, which is crazy, and obviously a lot's happened since then. And we can preview some of the adventures that are coming up, which is cool. Where are you guys coming to me from? Dan's been on some crazy adventures lately. You're over the other side of the bloody universe. What's been happening?
Yeah, I can share. Okay, I am coming from you from Tacoma, Washington, and so Pacific Northwest.
USA. What time is it there?
It is 8:38 p.m. So it is a different day for me. It's Friday for me.
Yeah, Friday for you, Dan and I. It's the weekend. And Dan's over the other side of Australia to me. Where are you, Dan, and what have you been doing? Because I know some people probably follow you on Insta and they'll be aware, but you've been on a little bit of an adventure lately.
Yeah, so I'm maybe like an hour north of Coffs Harbour, which is maybe like 2 hours north. Further than that. I'm in between Sydney and Brisbane. I don't know where I am. I have been
That probably says a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, so I've been supporting Brooke McIntosh, this incredible woman that is running around Australia, raising money and awareness for mental health. She begun in Perth, Cam's hometown. Cam interviewed her on a podcast months ago. I didn't know who she was, and then when Cam and I were traveling across Australia, we bumped into her. Cam and I then got to Perth. 2 weeks later, I wake up with a message from Brooke asking if I'd come and crew her. So I flew back over to Melbourne and have been driving a ute with a 24-foot caravan attached since. Making our way from Melbourne. We'll get to Brisbane within the next week, and it's been hectic. So, as much as I've been driving, I'm the guy that wakes her up in the morning, gets her breakfast ready, meets her at all these stops. Have to do the grocery shopping and all those sort of things. So, I don't know where I am. I don't know what day it is. As great as it's been, I'm looking forward to the next week being over, so I can focus on Europe and get some sleep before then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pretty wild how that all worked out, because like you said, we me and you have been on a few adventures since the PCT, which has been a real blessing considering we live sort of opposite sides of Australia to each other. But we drove from Melbourne to Perth. I did a big road trip. We ran into Brooke, who is obviously running around Australia. She's a machine, putting in like 60 to 80 kilometers a day, and I tagged her on my podcast a while back. You guys can find that episode to hear a bit about more about Brooke's story. She's awesome. But that's where you guys met for the first time, and then next thing you know, you were flying back over to crew her, and it's just been a wild journey to follow along on. Yeah, just cool people doing cool things out there, and it must be pretty awesome to be involved. I remember telling you when you accepted the position to go crew her that it's gonna be pretty damn intense, because I know how intense crewing someone on any sort of big event is, let alone one that big. And Yeah, I think the first week you were pretty overwhelmed, but you seem to have hit your groove now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's for me. It started in Melbourne, which is the equal biggest city in Australia. And so when you're towing a 24-foot caravan through Melbourne, trying to guide this woman, and that's another thing. Like I was doing route planning and all that sort of stuff as well. So trying to get her, navigating her on the roads and pathways to run. That was 5 weeks ago. I'll do one more week, so 6 weeks all up, and it's been great, and I've loved every single bit of it, but it has been exhausting.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, every ultra runner that I know always says that their crew is just as exhausted as they are, and obviously they're the ones running ridiculous distances. But yeah, crewing for someone, I've done some of it at a much smaller scale, and you have to be just as awake and aware the entire time they are, and you're obviously coordinating all of these different things. You're coming to us from your 20-foot caravan right now, right?
I am, yeah, yep. So there's a big double bed behind me, and then there's a bunk bed, single bunk bed, fridge, toilet, shower. It's got everything it needs.
Home on wheels.
Home on wheels.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I alluded to it before, but you and I have we've done some hikes since the PCT, which has been epic. We did a couple weeks of hiking in Victoria, did that big road trip. You stayed over in Perth with me for a little bit, which epic. But unfortunately, neither of us have seen Emma for what we worked out was 8 months, which is
Yeah.
crazy, absolutely crazy. So obviously, very excited for the upcoming adventures in Europe that we're all going to meet up for. Um, it's wild that it's been that long since the PCT. For some context, for those who are just jumping on, have no idea who all of us are to each other. Yeah, we we spent a lot of time together last year on this crazy long distance hiking trail in the US, walking from Mexico to Canada, and we all met very early on, and then literally hiked together for 5 months. So obviously, got pretty close. I never really got the whole family part of a trail family before I met you guys, but you really do become like a family spending that much time together. And so, not seeing you, Em, for this long is way too long.
I know.
Definitely.
I know. We're still a family, even off trail. I feel like we're still a family. So I'm
Yeah,
excited to see you guys. Not much long now. Let's see. We've got what, 10 days?
10 days,
Maybe
crazy.
12 days? Crazy. Yeah, it really is. I'm
Yeah, I
excited.
thought it was perfect timing to jump on with you guys again. Because it's been ages since you've been on the pod, Em. Dan, you've been on once again. I forgot we hiked the Australian Alps walking track also together. We've done so much. It's been great.
Yeah, we're in the Grampians
Just
as well.
Oh yeah, what the heck, mate? We're yeah, we're still rocking and rolling. Just need to get Emma out to Australia, to land
Yes.
down under. But you're obviously on the pod after that, Dan, which is cool. But yes, the reunion is near, which would be really, really cool. Do you guys know where we were 1 year ago? 1 year ago, we were on the PCT. We were a little ways into the trail. Do you guys have any idea of where we were on trail? We're out there for 140 days, so obviously it's it's kind of hard to pinpoint.
Were we near Mammoth?
No, we
Okay,
were
wait,
nowhere
let me
near
guess.
Mammoth.
Okay, wait. When did I start?
What's
April
that? 30 days in.
28th.
Were we at Kennedy Meadows South?
Not quite.
No, okay.
Close though. That is
Ooh,
very close.
what's before Kennedy Meadow? What's right before Kennedy Meadows? Okay,
Dan,
wait.
you should know this. I
No.
remember when we were on we were in Victoria hiking. We were just like quizzing each other on every trail town
Oh,
on the
yeah, we
Pacific
were
Crest
too.
Trail. You should have it all laid out. Not
Tehachapi? Were we in Tehachapi?
Oh,
Tehachapi.
well done.
So
So
Wait, for real?
we just done the
exactly
aqueduct.
Exactly 1 year ago today,
Yes.
we were literally we were starting, like as we were speaking, we were pretty much a couple hours into the LA aqueduct,
Oh
which
my
was,
Oh,
gosh.
that
Wow.
was a pretty big day on the PCT where we walked 67 kilometers, 41 miles, give or take,
Yeah.
which was our biggest push up into that point. And we all walked overnight. So
yeah, from
yeah,
Yep.
7 p.m. to 11 a.m. I remember.
yeah,
Yep. Honestly, I
yeah.
had never known what it felt like to hit a wall before that night. And then I totally hit the wall that night. And now I know why people say that. That
So
was
you were
such a
also on a
crazy
mission.
night.
We were all walking together, and then you just put some EDM dance music in your ears and disappeared. And then we saw you
Yeah.
hours later.
That night, it
Yeah.
was crazy. I remember looking at Dan and being like, Dan, there's no way I can walk all night long. I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna have to camp. And then I just all of a sudden locked in and just kept going until sunrise. It was the craziest experience. It was so fun.
It was a fun night. I just remember really feeling like I had unlocked my hiker legs, like
Mm.
especially when the
Hmm.
sun rose and you kind of get that little boost of energy. And we were like
Oh,
50 plus kilometers in at that point, and I just felt like,
yeah.
oh, my legs feel okay. This is like such a weird feeling to be feeling okay after such a long period of time, because we were what almost 5 weeks into hiking at that point. We're getting pretty fit, but I hit a wall that night as well, like just due to just tiredness. Like midnight, I was falling asleep on my feet, and Leah and I had bought those 5 hour energy shots, and I just remember there's like these intense caffeine shots. It's like I don't know how much caffeine's in there, like 500 milligrams or something crazy. And I took one of those. I distinctly remember taking it around midnight, and it just gave me the biggest buzz. And I've never felt that kind of hit from caffeine before. And I just went for it the rest of the night. It was wild.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's
one
crazy.
year
1
ago, we were
year.
finishing section one of the PCT. Essentially, we were coming to Kennedy Meadows South, which is the start of the Sierra Nevada, and bloody rest is history. For those who didn't follow the journey, you can go back and look at all our Instagrams, because we posted a bunch of content from that night, and obviously the rest of the trail as well, which was pretty wild,
Yeah. You know
pretty
what's
wild.
cool? It's cool to think that there's people there right now hiking along the LA Aqueduct tonight.
Mm.
I was I don't know who it was. I'm following like 10 different people vlogging on the PCT right now, but
Mhm.
someone was doing it today, or at least their vlog was
Oh,
posted today. And it just, yeah, it's a weird thing, because I love following along with all these people, just and kind of reliving it through them. But it's very hard to watch, because I'm just like, I know every video they put up. I'm just like, I know that spot. I was feeling cooked at that spot. I was on top of the world at that spot, and it's just like I want to be back.
In
yeah,
saying that,
I
though,
know.
we all three of us follow Grant. Grant's video, I don't know, does not look familiar at all because
Yeah,
of the
No.
conditions that
so
he's
much
walking
further
in.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks so different. That's a different experience that he's having because we were like in the bubble. I feel like when we started, we were hiking with the majority of the people who started the trail. So there were lots of people around us, but for Grant, he started so early that, he's just walking in the snow all by himself with a few friends. Just
he started
completely
March
different.
1st, right? Like first
Yeah,
day of the
yeah.
season, he was out there.
Man,
You guys have to
brutal.
follow. It's Grant Munn, right, on Instagram. Yeah, he's daily vlog on the trail, and he's just funny, and he's just, yeah, he's got it tough, because you guys are saying, he's just he's early in the season. There's snow everywhere. I think he skipped some of the Sierra because it was so bad, and then he just skipped into
Yeah,
more snow in NorCal. So it's just like you can't really win this early.
Mm.
yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's quite a few people vlogging the trail at the moment. I might link some of them in the description below, because I actually get asked
Hmm.
that a lot. Like, how do we follow someone else's trip this year?
Yes.
And yeah, there's just people crushing it out there, and oh, I miss it. Do you guys still miss it? I still feel like I have that post trail blues some days. It's not like a consistent thing like it was straight after the track, but I get some days where I'm just like just longing to be out there so badly.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely do. I feel like, well, I went straight back to work after getting off the trail. So it was just like a big, big life change of like being outside every day to being inside a cubicle every day, essentially. So I feel like I miss it a lot and I still do. And that's why we're planning another hike. I just want to get back out there and live that simple lifestyle that you get when you're out there. It's just so much less stress and just enjoying like being in the moment. And that's what I miss the most. So it's been a wild ride since getting off the PCT. I will say it's hard to prepare, for what you're going to feel after you get off. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think it has been for all of us, but we've all kept pretty busy as well since the end of the trail. I've been hiking heaps, which has been great, but it's so weird. Like when I finished the PCT, I said to myself, and I said it publicly, probably, that the PCT will be the best trail I ever hike, and that's just proven true. I've done heaps of hiking since the PCT, and there's nothing that will ever match it. There's going to be different experiences that are amazing, but it's kind of sad to say the PCT will probably be the pinnacle for me. But just a testament to how epic that experience was. What's life looked like for you, since the PCT? I know you ran a half marathon recently, so you've been training hard, you've been working hard, getting out on the odd little adventure as well.
Yeah, yeah. I got off the PCT and was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I didn't have a job lined up or anything. Blew through all my money essentially on the PCT. So I got my job back where I was working previously. So I've been doing home visiting for babies with disabilities. So I go and make sure families have resources and access to therapies, and I do that 40 hours a week. So I got back into that, was able to sign on for like 6 months contract to help support the team with some maternity leaves, which was perfect because that gave me enough time to save up money and then start planning the next, bit of adventuring. So I've been doing that, and then the two other things, I guess, are just starting a run club. So just trying to promote like health and wellness in my local community. And so I kind of put together this small little group of gals, and we have a female or femme based run club, and we meet every Wednesday. And so that has been actually that's helped a lot with the PCT blues, I feel like, is having a consistent community. Every Wednesday we get outside, rain or shine. We had really dark days through the winter, and we were just out there running 5Ks every single week. And it was just cool to see people, come and join and find us from social media. And so we've had a consistent group. One of the girls is actually doing the CDT. She leaves in like a week, so that's
Whoa.
pretty cool. Yeah. And then yeah, I trained for a half marathon, the Whidbey Island half, which was beautiful, and did that with a bunch of friends. And felt pretty good. It was my first race. So yeah, I got an hour and 46 minutes. So I was pretty happy with that, and just excited to do more. Put a marathon on the books and maybe an ultra.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Crazy. It's been very inspiring watching you train for that as well, because obviously we've been keeping in touch, and just the I look at your Strava, and just the consistency of the build up to that half was incredible. And yeah, you're in good shape. So hitting the trails again with you. This is going to be the PCT all over again, where you're
Oh yeah.
5 miles ahead, and Dan and I are just trying to catch up.
I'm so
What about
ready. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, you've prepped for it, which is cool. What about you, Dan? What's life been like post PCT?
Yeah, I'm grateful I've kept busy, that's for sure. But yeah, definitely looking forward to getting back. You touched on how the PCT was the pinnacle of all hikes, and I'll always agree with that. But at the same time, I think I, I think when you place the build up on something like that, when for months before you go off to do this hike, if it's all you're thinking about, dreaming about, and everything, it's naturally going to be a big build up, big moment as well. But I think it comes down to how long we spent out there. When there was I don't know when it was, but there was a moment where it went from just like, this is the hike, to this is like almost home sort of thing. And so I think, yeah, I think we can experience that again. I think we will, if we choose to do another big hike. Maybe nothing will be as great as walking in the Sierras for 4 weeks, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the next lot. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, it's a hard one. I think you're totally right. The sheer length that we're out there adds so much to it, and like unless you are out there for that long again, it's pretty hard to replicate any of those feelings or just the experience. And I certainly haven't been out there that long since the PCT. I don't know if I ever will again, hopefully, but yeah, it's just everything about the PCT was so perfect. Just the people and the community and the beauty.
Yeah.
It's hard
Yeah.
to it's hard to imagine something coming close, but hey, fingers crossed. There's a lot of trails in the world, and I'm sure we'll find something that lives up to it for sure. And speaking of trails around the world, we are heading on trail again, if you can call it that, very soon together, which would be really cool. Where, yeah, 11 days from when we're recording this, we're off to Spain, which is exciting, to walk on the Camino de Santiago, which is a pilgrimage in Spain, and walking the French way, which is long, the longest route, I believe. Is that right? The longest route, Dan?
Uh, I think the longest official route maybe, but there, I mean, in Europe, a Camino is it can be as long as you want, sort of thing. You can literally,
Right.
I think technically you can, wherever you live, as soon as you step out the door, that's when your Camino begins. So yeah,
Interesting.
like that, so you can walk it from the other side of Europe all the way to Santiago.
Wow, that's cool.
But
Mm.
but the French way is the most popular way.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Dan, you've hiked the Camino the French way before. Yeah, maybe give us a little overview of the track. I'm just keen to hear what I'm about to do, because I haven't honestly looked too much into it, which is typical of my adventures. I just kind of like sign up and go do it. But yeah, maybe you can explain to the listeners what the difference a Camino, like a pilgrimage of this style, is like. What's the difference between that and a hike like the PCT that's more wilderness based? And tell us a little bit about the Camino.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, it began as a religious walk, um, but over the years, people walk it for various different reasons. You would call it more of a walk than a hike. You do spend most of the time walking on sealed roads or pathways or something like that. It's not often that you're on trail. Not much of an elevation profile, and every night you're staying in albergues or pilgrim hostels. So once you get to the start, the French way, once we start in Saint Jean, we will get our Camino passports, and that is kind of our ticket to sleep in the pilgrim hostels along the way. So yeah, we'll head up over the Pyrenees into Spain and then all the way to the coast. It typically finishes in Santiago, but there is an extension that you can continue onto the coast where you go to Murcia and Finisterre. And that's becoming more of a traditional thing now as well, because I think Finisterre translates to end of the world. And so it's kind of like a people when I was there, at least, I don't know if this is an ongoing thing or if it's something that has continued to build. But once you get to Finisterre, typically you're meant to burn a piece of your like clothing or an item or something, as if to like release it, and that's that's you letting go of an older version of yourself or something like that. So yeah, we're going to be walking through towns very often. So it's not, we're not going to be doing food carries or anything like that. We'll probably eat in little towns every day. We will, and carry out your snacks for the day. Just like I said, you don't need to carry a tent, sleeping bag, sleeping mat, nothing like that. So yeah, you could literally go with a small pack and just pack just comfort items almost.
Yeah. Yeah, very different vibe to a trail like the PCT,
Mm.
but
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm
But this it's a cultural sort of thing as well. Like I said, it begun as more of a religious sort of walk, because you'll go through many churches, and I mean, like, you'll go through a town of 50, 100, 200 people that have this church in the middle of nowhere that is just stunning. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
how far is it from St. John to the end of the world, or whatever that yeah, what was it
Yeah,
called again?
Finisterre.
Finisterre.
Um, so I think it's around 800 kilometers, and then to Santiago, and then there's the add-on of maybe another 100 kilometers,
Hmm.
Yeah.
which is a circuit, a loop.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So we'll be walking for about a month. That's our plan anyway. And yeah, it's going to be incredible. My wife and I just got back from Japan, and we walked the Kamano Kodo, which is a Japanese pilgrimage. And the Camino and Kamano are like this dual listed UNESCO heritage pilgrimage kind of thing, where if you hike both, it's like this thing that people do, and you get both the passports and this
Wow.
certification or whatever, which is really cool. So we've got a little taste of the pilgrimage life. The Japanese one on the Kawanikoto is sort of rooted in Shintoism and Buddhism, and there was just temples and shrines and all of this history along the trail. It was only 5 days, but it was just really magical. So yeah, super excited to experience that. And a different continent with a different religion and a whole sort of different history. But my wife's coming along with us on the Camino Caris as well, which is just
Yay.
so cool. And the Kamanakoto in Japan was her first multi-day hike pretty much ever. And she's just not typically a multi-day hiker. She doesn't like being out in the wild and filthy for that long. But these pilgrimages are like kind of a stepping stone into my world, really. And she loved the Kamano, and she's very excited for the Camino. And yeah, it's going to be super exciting. We're also going to be joined by Deidre. She's the Route to Happiness on Instagram, and we met Deidre on the Pacific Crest Trail last year also. And Deidre and her partner Garen, and they were just incredible people that we got really along really well with, and it's going to be a bit of an extra reunion with Deidre coming over for the Camino as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun month ahead. Em, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like you said, I haven't seen you guys in 8 months, so it's going to be the ultimate reunion, and we get to meet in Europe, one of the best places to go travel and explore and adventure. So I'm really just excited to see you guys again. I get to meet Karis for the first time, and Deidre and I are flying together, so I've got a friend to fly with, and we're just gonna have a great time. So
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be
Hmm.
interesting. Like, I don't really know what to expect on the Camino. 30 days, like
Yeah.
you said, Dan, walking through towns every day. We're not carrying heavy packs. We're not even doing food carries. It's just going to be, yeah, a different vibe. And oh, man, someone was telling us the sheer amount of people that are walking the Caminos each year now. It's like hundreds of thousands a year. So it's going to be very busy as well. That's probably another thing. It's going to be very different to a trail like the PCT. Like even the PCT was relatively busy towards the start, but PCT busy is like seeing 30 people in a day. I think Camino busy is probably going to be seeing thousands and thousands of people every day. So we're not going to get that sort of sense of isolation or nature experience. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic for sure. What was your experience like the first time you did it, Dan? Because obviously it's just so wildly different to all these other hikes we do.
Yeah, so I mean, before that, the biggest hike that I'd ever done was actually the Great Southwest Walk, which you and I just did again. That's basically just next to my hometown, so it's a very accessible hike for me. So, and that's I think 250 k's, and then before that is a 60-kilometer hike. So I wouldn't consider the Camino a hike. Others might. That's fine, but setting out for that, I think I did it 8 or maybe 9 years ago. For me, at that point in my life, and putting that emphasis on an adventure that I did. It was one of those surreal sort of experiences. I went by myself and met some really good people early on. Brandon, who we bumped into in the States,
Hmm.
Yeah,
I met
such a
him there.
legend.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But yeah, I mean, all the information that I'm getting now is just how much busier it has gotten. So I know the experience will be different, and yeah, hopefully the sheer amount of people isn't kind of anything that deters or changes the experience in any sort of way, in any sort of negative way. So I'm sure it's going to be great though.
Yeah, it's weird because typically I don't enjoy hiking with large swaths of human beings. That's why I go out into the mountains by myself. But I think coming into this trek with the right expectations is key. I've got to kind of switch my mindset. Like, yeah, there's going to be people everywhere, all day, every day. We're going to be sharing hostels with heaps of people all day, every day, meeting new people all the time, and that's just got to be we're going to turn into a positive. Like I get to meet people from all over the world and experience this incredibly historic pilgrimage with all these other people who are hiking it for whatever their reason is. And yeah, I'm super excited for it. It's gonna be magical.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
and after the Camino, we're going to stick around in Europe and do some other adventures, which should be good. Um, yeah, planning to go explore the Dolomites, the Swiss Alps, and then we've got another big trek planned in the French Alps, which will be good. So all of us plus a few other people that
A few.
it's going to be a big. Actually, we've
It's going to
we've
be
got
huge,
we've
and it's going to be great.
we've
Yeah.
assembled a large crew to go hike the Tour des Écrins, which is the GR54 in the French Alps, supposedly one of the harder routes in Europe. And yeah, we'll be hiking for like 8, 9, 10 days, a couple of weeks after the Camino, which I'm excited for because that will be like a actual wilderness experience. We'll be camping in the mountains with not many other people, but we'll be reuniting with a ton of PCT hikers from last year that all just happened to be in Europe at the same time. So excited for that one.
Yeah, me too. And 110 miles and 40,000 feet of elevation gain. So it'll be much harder than than the Camino, I mean.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird because we'll have our trail legs by the end of the Camino, but they'll be very conditioned to walking flat roads and not insanely big mountains. So it's gonna be
Yes.
interesting putting heavy packs on and climbing into the Alps. I'm not sure how that'll go.
Mhm.
Because this is a section of the Hexatrex, the French through hike. So
Mhm.
yeah, well, I think all three of us would give anything to go do the Hexatrex one day, but to be able to
Oh
do
yeah.
even just a section of it just now would be, it's great. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I talked to a couple, Scott and Lauren, who walked the Hexatrek on. I talked to them on the podcast a few weeks ago, and they made that trail sound unbelievably epic. And they mentioned that the GR54 was one of the most beautiful and one of the most challenging sections of the Hexatrack, which bodes well for us. We'll have a,
Yeah.
a good challenge and hopefully a good reward ahead of us. But yeah, that trail is more and more going to the top of my bucket list just because of how fresh it is and how epic it looks. 3,000 kilometers across France is it's pretty crazy. Do you guys have any huge trails that are just like number one for you now post PCT and looking forward to after Europe? There's just so many out there, and we're in this world now where we know so many people are hiking so many cool trails across the world.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a tough
um,
one.
I'm hoping that after we finish the French hike, I can nick over and either do the Armenia stretch of the Transcaucasian Trail, which is a
Mhm.
section of a larger Transcaucasian Trail that goes through Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. The trail is not complete at the moment, I think, because of conflict on the borders. Otherwise, if I can't, so it's either that or the Jordan Trail. Jordan Trail, I think 650 k's, begins at the Syrian border and makes its way through Jordan. So if I can get away and do that, before coming back to Australia, then that would be great. Otherwise, the Hexatrek, the TA, the CDT, they're all still, whether I do them or not, that's fine, But like if we're to say, like, if we're going to go for another big hike one day, what's it going to be? It's one of those trails.
Yeah, I would say the same. I mean, I'm always interested in the bigger trails in America. Like, I'd love to get a Triple Crown one day. I mean, that would be amazing. If I had the time and the money, I would be on the Continental Divide Trail right now. I mean, I'd love to potentially add that to the list. But if I don't end up having the time and the money, I would do the Colorado Trail. So that portion of the CDT that goes through Colorado because that's a beautiful section, lots of amazing mountains and epic views. So I'd love to add that to the list for next summer and yeah, see what else. I don't know, something in New Zealand. I would love to go to do the TA. That would be amazing as well. So yeah, lots of things.
Yeah, I love the idea of just walking across countries, and
Mm.
now
Oh,
I just want to know how many I can walk across because I've
right?
done New Zealand and America, and we're about to do Spain, and I mean, Dan, you're about to do potentially Jordan or Armenia, which is pretty cool. And the Hexatrek would be France. I mean, there's a trail that walks across most countries. It's a pretty cool thing. And I mean, like you both said, there's just unlimited cool trails to do. Like the Colorado Trail for me is really high up on the list. Like I'm planning to come over to the US next year for hopefully a couple months to help set up OptiVenture over there and do some cool adventures. And the Colorado Trail is like one I wanted somehow slot in there, but it just feels weird to me because like if one day I'm going to hike the CDT, it's like, do I want to hike the Colorado Trail now because I'm going to hike it on the CDT anyway? And it's the same thing with
Yeah.
the GR54 in France. If like one day I'm going to
Mm.
hike the Hexatrek, then I'm just like doubling up a little
Yep.
bit almost. But
150 k's on the GR54 is different to 600 k's on the Colorado Trail.
true.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
very
big,
true.
big
Yeah,
section. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. I don't see myself ticking off every trail in the world. So doing the best bits of some is probably the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
best thing almost. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to think about doing things in sections because obviously we like to do the whole thing. I mean, I didn't want to do just like sections of the PCT, like just do California or just do Washington. I wanted to just do the whole thing. So it would be awesome to just get out there and do the whole CDT one day.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
There's just too many adventures to do and not enough time to do it. But
I
my plan is
know.
to just get my wife really addicted to hiking, which I never thought was
Hmm.
possible, but stepping stoning over these pilgrimages and then just dipping her
Hmm.
toes into some more wilderness hikes. If she's keen to do the CDT or the Hexa trek, then I have no reservations. I can just go do them because that's the hardest part for me is getting away for that long, months and months and months to walk these trails. So hey, we'll see what the future holds. Who
Yeah, we're
knows?
gonna turn her into a through hiker. Don't you worry. It'll happen.
Yeah, no, I hope so. Bloody hope so. Unreal, guys. Well, we'll keep this one nice and short. Just wanted to catch up, preview some upcoming adventures for those listeners who are interested in what we get up to, which there's a few out there, which is pretty cool. We love you guys a lot. Do you guys have some content plans for Europe? You're going to share some of the adventures online? If so, where can people follow you?
Yeah, I'm going to be sharing on my Instagram. It's just at Emma M. Jane. So I will be doing some video creation, and then I'm also planning on doing some more blogging like I did on the PCT. So I'll be doing a Substack, so you can just subscribe via email to get the newsletter in your inbox. So yeah, just everything's on Instagram though.
That's cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just try and continue on with the daily reels as well. I really enjoy making them, and it's great to just have that recorded as something I can look back on. So yeah, at Daniel MCK17 for those.
Yeah, that's the best part of making videos online. Like it's cool to be able to share it with people and in theory and hopefully inspire people to get outside as well. But to be able to look back on these insane things that we do is the best thing in the world. And I just recently, put together all of my footage from the PCT to put together on YouTube, and going and reliving all of that it's just magic. And I've gone back and watched both of your guys' videos from the PCT and all your posts and mine so many times just because it just teleports you back there in a way that your memory just can't. Like you don't remember all these details, or maybe you do remember these details, but just rejigging that memory by seeing a photo or a video or hearing a voiceover that you recorded like on the trail in that moment, it just sort of brings you back. And it's the coolest thing that we're able to do, I think, these days with all these things we're adventuring.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
agree. My memory is terrible when it comes to all of the hikes that I've done in the past. Like, hikes in Europe, the Kungsleden and the Camino and New Zealand and things like that. Because I didn't document it, I didn't really, photograph it in any kind of way. Yeah, those memories, as much as I was in the moment, I don't have anything to kind of really look back on. So I'm super grateful that I've got what I've got, and can still say that I lived in the moment.
Yeah, and it's
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 beautiful.
it's weird because like you can still 100% live in the moment while filming everything. Like I look back on my PCT videos and I have like a total of maybe between 3 and 6 minutes of footage every day that I edit down to a 60-second reel. And we're on trail for 24 hours a day. So, whipping out
Yeah.
the phone and filming, even up to 10 minutes a day, it's really nothing in the grand scheme of things. And I have all these moments now recorded that didn't take anything away from the experience. And that's why I always encourage people that are doing these big treks to record, even though it might seem like it takes you out of it. I really believe it doesn't if you just do it in the right way. And even if you don't post anywhere, you have all these just tangible things you can look back on, which is just so cool.
Yeah, I feel like you guys really taught me that because I didn't really want to post much besides my writing for the PCT, and then you were like, just post what you have, post what you've got, and you like inspired me to post the 24-hour challenge, and I did that, and it's so
Yeah.
fun now to look back on all that. And yeah, I was watching your YouTube video when it came out, and I was just smiling the whole time. So it's so nice to look back and remember those things and share it for
Yeah.
like, your family and whoever else wants to
Yeah.
watch it in the future. So it's pretty
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, it really is. And I keep getting like,
Hmm.
because we're a year out from the PCT, I keep getting like those 1 year reminders on social media. Like you posted this 1 year ago, and on Strava,
Hmm.
like every day now on Strava, it shows me the day from the PCT last year,
Oh,
which is crazy. Like I was on there this morning, and it showed the 67 Ks on the aqueduct overnight. And I just get that every day, and I just go back in there, and I can read my recap that I wrote, and I can see the photos that I've posted. And it's just like
Awesome.
it
So good.
teleports me straight back, and I'll get that forever, which is uh it's yeah, it's super cool. So now excited to create some more memories with you guys and share some more adventures over the coming months. I'm going to release this podcast. I looked ahead on, I think it's the day that we land in Barcelona. So if you're listening to this right now, we are on the ground in the EU,
woo.
and we'll be very soon heading on to the Camino de Santiago, and yeah, probably sharing some stuff online shortly after that, which should be really cool. So I'll leave down M's socials in the description below. Come follow along the adventure, and yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Good to catch up.
Thank you, Nate.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you in person.
Yeah, can't wait to give you a hug, Em. It's gonna be
Yes.
Yes.
awesome. Big group hug.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I love
Cool.
you guys.
Love you
Love you
guys.
too. Thanks for listening, guys. If you did enjoy this episode, make sure to follow along wherever you are listening and leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Helps us out a ton. And we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.